You wake up, grab your phone, tap your digital wallet to pay for coffee, swipe your map app to avoid traffic, and scroll through 3 different feeds before you even reach the office. The network is invisible to us. We don't think about the servers or the fiber optic cables because that connection is integrated into every mundane physical action we take. But imagine if tomorrow morning, every single global network connection simply snapped. No Wi-Fi, no cellular data, no cloud, for exactly 24 hours. We need to see what happens when you strip away the digital nervous system of the planet. We have to determine if our cities would descend into immediate chaos, or if the world would simply hit a temporary pause. In the first few minutes, almost no one realizes the scale of the blackout. Billions of people try restarting their routers, toggle airplane mode, or assume their local cell tower is experiencing a temporary glitch. Then the confusion sets in. Multiplayer servers kick players offline, text messages hang on sending, and infinite scrolling feeds hit a dead end. Every screen in your house effectively becomes a brick. The immediate reaction across the globe isn't violent panic. It is a profound, jarring sense of isolation. We suddenly realize how deeply we rely on the expectation of permanent connectivity just to feel tethered to the rest of the world. By mid-morning, the real-world consequences hit businesses. Millions of remote workers are instantly locked out of their cloud software and company tools. Entire corporate workflows halt in an instant. Out on the streets, local transportation paralyzes. Without GPS synchronization, ride-sharing networks evaporate, and delivery fleets lose their routing coordinates, leaving drivers stranded without directions or destinations. The disruption spreads to global airports. As automated communication and flight coordination protocols break down, thousands of planes are forced to stay grounded. Inside the terminals, passengers are stranded near blank displays and growing piles of luggage, trapped without access to digital ticketing, boarding updates, or customer support. The actual physical machines, the airplanes, the delivery trucks, the cars, are perfectly functional. Their engines work, but the digital layer required to operate them is missing. Physical transportation doesn't break without the internet, but it loses the routing efficiency that modern, just-in-time logistics require to move anything from point A to point B. By the afternoon, the blackout reaches traditional financial centers. Global banks remain physically secure, but are cut off from servers holding their customer banking data. Stock trading platforms and cryptocurrency markets freeze. Digital transactions can no longer be processed, so those glowing blue numbers dictating global wealth simply stop updating. Down on the street level, a localized panic emerges. Ordinary consumers realize they can't purchase groceries or fuel because digital payment systems and credit card terminals are dead. Cash is suddenly the only currency that functions. Wealth in the 21st century is almost entirely informational. By removing the network, an internet blackout effectively turns billions of dollars into inaccessible theoretical concepts. This raises a pressing question. Do essential, life-saving systems like hospitals and emergency services immediately collapse without their network connections? Fortunately, emergency responders maintain localized analog backups. Radio networks and physical equipment ensure that basic safety operations continue running without any digital aids. This flowchart illustrates the information bottleneck. Without the ability to run rapid digital NACL queries, hospital staff rely on slow, physical paperwork, drastically reducing the speed of emergency care. Critical physical safety doesn't vanish. The doctors and the medicine are still there, but our ability to deploy those vital resources efficiently is severely crippled when the data completely stops flowing. As the blackout stretches into its final hours, the initial frustration and localized panic begin to settle into a forced, quiet acceptance. Unexpected social effects emerge. Social media pressure vanishes instantly. Screen time drops to absolute zero. Without digital distractions, neighborhoods see an immediate increase in outdoor activity. Families and individuals are forced to rediscover face-to-face communication, spending the evening talking without the constant interruption of algorithmic feeds. With the digital noise gone, the focus shifts back to the immediate surroundings. For one evening, the primary way to share information isn't through a post or a message, but through a conversation across a dinner table. Then, the 24-hour mark arrives. The internet roars back to life, instantly flooding devices with a massive backlog of trapped data, emails, and notifications. This chart tracks the immediate economic damage of the outage. You can see the losses escalating exponentially from hour 1 to hour 24, as supply chain delays and halted productivity cost the global economy billions of dollars in a single day. But despite the massive cost, and despite that brief moment of analog peace, humanity's immediate reaction is a ravenous rush to plug right back into the digital ecosystem. The day proves that the internet has evolved into the load-bearing foundation of modern civilization. We rely on this infrastructure for almost every aspect of physical survival, making a return to an analog world nearly impossible. So, if the internet disappeared tomorrow, what is the very first thing you would miss?